most distant human-made object, NASA's Voyager 1 spacecraft, is in interstellar space.
Getting visual confirmation.
Human space exploration reached new heights in 2022, with a slew of first-ever missions and discoveries for scientists probing and studying the stars. Scientists accomplished incredible feats through collaborations that brought together commercial industry and foreign nations on several historic missions. Collaborations that were successful included the launch and calibration of the world's most powerful space telescope, as well as the photographing of a never-before-seen supermassive black hole at the center of the Milky Way galaxy. The James Webb Space Telescope went deeper into the past of the universe than ever before, and NASA initiated its first return to the lunar surface since the Apollo missions. In the midst of everything that was going on, the Voyager 1 probe was disrupted by a mysterious force in interstellar space, leaving scientists clueless. What interrupted the Voyager 1's journey further into the unknown? What else have astronomers recently discovered in deep space? In today's video, we'll go over some of the most perplexing astronomical discoveries made recently. Number 1. Hidden star formation as galaxies collide. It is one of Webb's strengths as an infrared telescope that it is able to peer through dust, revealing things that telescopes like Hubble, which rely primarily on visible light, have been unable to see. When Webb photographed two galaxies colliding, it discovered something Hubble had missed, an area of intense star formation which scientists claim is producing stars 20 times faster than our own galaxy. The merging galaxies, known as IC 1623 in the new image, contain an area of star formation that shines so brightly with infrared radiation that it produces Webb's typical pointed star diffraction pattern, which is usually the result of its observing bright stars. The region constitutes an entirely new layer of the image, hidden from Hubble by a thick layer of dust. The new findings are detailed in a study published in the Astrophysical Journal. Scientists believe that the merging of the galaxies, which are approximately 270 million light-years from Earth, is also creating a supermassive black hole which is not visible in the Webb image. Number 2. NASA intentionally moves an asteroid for the first time. NASA's first attempt to alter an asteroid's trajectory was successful, demonstrating that humans have the tools and know-how to thwart a potentially hazardous space rock should one ever be on a collision course with Earth. On September 26, as part of the Double Asteroid Redirection Test, also known as DART, a spacecraft was intentionally crashed into an asteroid named Dimorphos. Dimorphos was roughly the size of a football stadium and was located approximately 6.8 million miles away. Astronomers used ground telescopes to study its orbit a few weeks later. The asteroid's loop had been cut by 32 minutes, far exceeding their 10-minute target. The $330 million collision was streamed live from the Mission Operations Center at the Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory in Maryland. The nameless spacecraft, weighing around 1,300 pounds, was devoid of explosives. Its weapon was its own body and the sheer force of a 14,000 mile/hour collision with an asteroid. Dimorphos was chosen for the target practice by NASA because it was an ideal specimen for tracking the results of DART's hit, not because it posed a threat to Earth. There are no known asteroids on a collision course with our planet at the moment. Scientists, on the other hand, are keeping a close eye on the 30,000 large objects in our solar system. They estimate that there could be 15,000 asteroids larger than 460 feet in diameter waiting to be discovered. Number 3. Observatory finds huge hidden asteroids. A new sky survey has discovered massive space rocks the size of so-called planet killers that were previously hidden within the inner solar system. The colossal asteroids, leftover rubble from the solar system's formation some 4.6 billion years ago, were previously unseen due to the sun's blinding glare in orbits between Venus and Mercury. One is nearly a mile wide and would cause a mass extinction if it struck Earth. These space rocks were discovered by the Dark Energy Camera, which was mounted on a powerful telescope at Chile's Cerro Tololo Inter-American Observatory. According to scientists, asteroids are not a threat to Earth and will not be for the foreseeable future. Number 4. Milestones on Mars. Meanwhile, on Mars, the InSight lander's mission ended due to a buildup of dust on its solar panels. But the stationary spacecraft made history in 2022. InSight detected Mars's largest quake and recorded the sounds of space rocks slamming into the planet, forming craters that revealed treasure troves of subsurface ice. As InSight nears the end of its mission, the Perseverance rover's sidekick has continued to fly in Martian skies, going above and beyond its original 5-flight mission. Since April 2022, the Ingenuity helicopter has broken its own altitude record and aced 37 flights on Mars. Perseverance used the small chopper as an aerial scout, collecting an incredible variety of Martian rock and sediment samples. The rover is currently establishing a sample depot on the Martian surface. The samples will be collected and returned to Earth in 2033 as part of the ambitious Mars Sample Return program, which will send a lander and 2 retrieval helicopters to Mars later this decade. Number 5. Finding the most distant galaxies ever. Webb was designed to observe the most distant galaxies in the universe, and scientists confirmed this in mid-December. The telescope has officially observed the 4 most distant galaxies, which also happen to be the oldest. Webb discovered the galaxies around 13.4 billion years ago, when the universe was only 350 million years old, or about 2% of its current age. Scientists suspected that the 4 galaxies, like hundreds of others discovered by Webb, were extremely old. Researchers confirmed their age as part of the JWST Advanced Deep Extragalactic Survey, JADES, analysing data from the telescope's near-infrared spectrograph to determine how fast the galaxies were moving away from the telescope. This is the redshift of galaxies, or how much the wavelengths of light they emit have lengthened as the universe has expanded. Their redshift was the highest ever measured at 13.2. These galaxies are well beyond what we could have imagined finding before JWST, said Brant Robertson, an astrophysicist at the University of California, Santa Cruz, who was one of the researchers involved in the observations. Number 6. Glimpsing Titan's clouds. The moon of Saturn, Titan, is an unusual and fascinating place. The moon has rock made of water ice, as well as liquid methane and ethane rivers, lakes and seas. It is also the only moon in our solar system with an atmosphere, albeit a hazy one dotted with methane clouds. When Webb captured atmospheric data from the strange moon in November 2022, scientists caught a glimpse of some of those clouds. Researchers studying Titan with Webb expressed their delight at receiving the data in a NASA statement. At first glance, it is simply extraordinary, Sebastian Rodriguez, an astronomer at Université Paris-Cité and a co-author on the study, wrote in an email included in the statement, "I think we're seeing a cloud." They eventually discovered that the telescope had captured not 1, but 2 clouds, one of which was over Kraken Mare, the moon's largest sea. The team was so intrigued that they contacted Hawaii's Keck Observatory, which was able to observe Titan just 2 days later. There is a cloud over Kraken Mare in the same spot in the Keck observations, though it is a different shape, indicating that the cloud either changed or another cloud moved into the same spot. The team hopes that this data will assist them in mapping Titan's haze and discovering new gases in the moon's atmosphere. Number 7. Voyager 1 interrupted by an unknown force. Voyager 1 is the most distant man-made object in space. It is about 14.6 billion miles away from Earth. Launched in 1977, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 were primarily designed to explore Jupiter and Saturn. Voyager 2 also visited Uranus and Neptune, whereas Voyager 1 prioritized Saturn's giant moon Titan, sending it on a new trajectory to the solar system's edge. It wasn't until 1989, after Voyager 2's flyby of Neptune, that the interstellar mission was created. When it was 122 astronomical units, AU, away from the Sun, Voyager 1 became the first human-made object to explore interstellar space, the space between stars in a galaxy. Because of particle density, scientists are certain that the Voyager probes have crossed from the heliosphere, where the solar wind, a stream of charged particles from the Sun, dominates, into interstellar space. Nobody ever expected the Voyagers to leave the interstellar medium, said Merav Ofer, an astronomer at Boston University who runs a center called SHIELD that's revisiting Voyager data in an effort to learn more about the heliosphere. They had a 5-year lifetime that was extended for another 5 years, then 10 years, but nobody really thought that they would be leaving the solar system. What the twin spacecraft discovered about the heliosphere, the magnetic bubble that surrounds us, could have implications for how we understand life on Earth. The density was 10 times larger than what we find in the solar wind at those distances, Ofer said of the late 2018 readings. When Voyager 2 entered interstellar space on November 5, 2018, its instruments detected the same increase in particle density. The probe's passage into interstellar space was straightforward, but the heliopause, a twilight zone between the bubble-like heliosphere and interstellar space, revealed unexpected properties. Each spacecraft took several months to pass through, during which time they sent back data on plasma density peaks and troughs. Scientists were perplexed by data from Voyager 1 and 2 on magnetic fields in the heliopause. Theorists expected the magnetic field from the galaxy to be inclined to the solar magnetic field, so there should have been a change where the magnetic field from the Sun met that from space. However, neither Voyager 1 nor Voyager 2 detected changes in the magnetic field direction. Voyager 1 is now 40 AU beyond the heliopause, allowing scientists to learn more about the interstellar medium. It turns out that the heliosphere has a much greater influence than previously thought. The interstellar medium, as measured by the Voyager probes, is not quiet, it's agitated and influenced by the Sun, Ofer said. It's so different than we expected, and we still don't really understand what's going on. The data reveals that galactic cosmic rays behave differently depending on whether they are parallel or perpendicular to the Sun's magnetic field. The data can be linked to coronal mass ejections, CMEs, from the Sun, which create magnetic field perturbations far out into the interstellar medium. It has compelled scientists to reconsider how cosmic rays can reach Earth. The silent ambassadors will eventually go silent as they enter what scientists refer to as the pristine interstellar medium. As the Sun's influence fades and turbulence decreases, the probes will most likely detect a matter mix from other stars. With the two spacecraft nearing the end of their operational lives as their power supplies run out, the last time scientists hear from them will probably be in the 2030s at best. Which of these discoveries fascinated you the most? Tell us in the comments below.